Alright, good morning everybody. It's Saturday, December 5th, I believe is the date. Let me check real quick. And yes, it is. And as you can tell, I'm here to do a dekitting. So, this is the Barnall pear that I would have dekitted like 2 days ago, but I had a headache, so we decided to forego. Alright, so as you can see, my new camera came in. I showed it on my finish review that I posted last night. So let's just get to this. Okay, so I don't know what that was. Okay, have to do a little bit of a rearrange because they're not in order, not in any particular order. So let's normally do this before the video. Ooh, darn it. If I had the canvas, I could just go down the line. But we're just going to have to wing it because the canvas got put into the portfolio already. So, I mean, when I say put into the portfolio, it got put into a portfolio, just slid in. I haven't gotten around to doing the mounting it, cutting the edges off and mounting it. That will come in the future sometime. So it's just groups 700s, 900s, 800s, 30s, 8s, 800, 800, 700, 33, 700, 700. Okay. So out of 700, I have 62, 79, 80, 81, 83. So in the 800s, I have 801, 22, and 23. In the 900s, I have in the 38 and 39. So we have the 33, and of the 38s, there's 60 and 61. Ooh, no, it didn't go. There we go. All right. Oh, excuse me a moment. Another stupid hot flash. You know, one of the most, okay, other than the constant, I'm comfortable, now I'm too hot, so I shed, you know, layers, and then after a while, I get cold again, so I gotta put clothes on again, and it's, you know, clothes off, clothes on, clothes on. You know, hoodie on, hoodie off, hoodie on, hoodie off. The other thing that really does quite annoy me is when I'm cross-stitching. It fogs up my readers, damn it. Alright, so I'm relatively certain, well, no, these are squares, so I don't have any, this is the first squares to go into this, so I won't have any baggies ready to go. Alright, so let's get a stack of baggies. So I've been looking forward to this. Really. I mean, I've had to wait a few days because, you know, working so many hours. Okay, so I might have done this last night, but I got home from work, and when I say home from work, Friday was a normal 8-hour day. I got home and I was like, hon, I'm tired. Okay, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna take a nap. Which normally means that I'll be up late, super late. Well, I lay down. I was down for 4 hours, and normally when I sleep, I'm a side sleeper. I normally can't sleep on my back. Well, when I am that tired, I lay down and I'm on my back. I fall asleep on my back and I don't move. Jason's like, he's like, I was in there 5 times. You know, your head kind of moved from side to side, but you didn't move. So that was good. I got a good solid 4 hours. But what's even better, I wasn't up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I was up till about 1:30, and then I started to feel tired, so I went to bed. I got a decent, okay, so this wasn't the sleep of the dead that I did for my nap, but I got a decent-ish 8 hours of sleep. So I feel pretty darn good today. Yeah, so the little bit of time that I was awake last night, I unpacked the new camera and tested it out. And as you can see, so much more space. Awesome. Okay, so 414 is right there. And as you can see, because I use the Avery removable labels, they come right off when I need them to. So these are more permanent. These guys, figure out where I have my, sorry, I'm just getting my, these guys are what I use on the containers. Because I don't want these to come off. But so that's how that works. Okay, so 451 is next. 451. And today we might have to do a bit of a growing in the box. Migrate some into that center space, but we'll see. Okay, so 451. I'm still trying to figure out the order of things that I like to do things in. So I think I like to tip them in and then go get my label. Which sometimes I switch that up when I'm not concentrating and I'm chatting, or I'm concentrating on what I'm chatting about more than what I'm doing. So, alright, so next number is 452. Easy peasy. Next space. Alright, so, you know, I've been watching Rebecca's Advent videos and gotten a little bit of inspiration for just things to talk about. Nope, that's just a little divot in the bottom of the container. It's not a drill. Alright, so I grabbed myself just a couple of things to talk about. I made notes because in my world, in my stupid, well, you know, I say stupid, but my unfortunate short-term memory issue, if I don't write it down, chances are it ain't happening. Okay, so that was 452. Did I? Yes, I did. So let's go get yeah, like I said, I split my attention and sometimes stuff gets a little jumbled. But that's okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, so 453 is the next one, which has round. We're gonna create another square. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do with these things? Okay, one cool thing I found, if you have to keep pulling off a stack of paper, if you bend it and then you pinch one end and let the other go, it kind of steps the other side. Make it a little easier for me. Alright, so questions that I one I saw was, what are some of your Christmas memories? I mean, they say, you know, favorite Christmas memories, but I'll expand it to just things that stick out in my mind when I think about Christmas from the past. 453. So, the first one is tinsel. I have a love-hate relationship with tinsel. As a kid, it was my job to put the tinsel on, which took me hours to do. Because my OCD nature meant that I had to put it on one strand at a time. Or, you know, at least at that time, I had fun. Granted, I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. I had fun. It's just, that stuff is wily. As an adult, I have never put tinsel on my tree. Instead, I might have to show these in the, well, we haven't put our tree up yet, so the decorations are still in storage. But when I do, I will pull them out to show you. I got a set of tinsel replacement items from, I think it was from, what was okay, so this was when their websites weren't a thing. So what catalog did I get them out of? I think it was Travelsmith. I mean, this was years ago, so I think it was Travelsmith. 760. Let's put these questions over here. 62 is there. So they're made of metal. I got some silver and some gold, and they're just a thin metal. They've been twisted. just a spiral twist down the length, and it's curved in a hook at the top, so you can hook them on your tree. They're simple and they create so much sparkle on the tree. Yeah, I got those to do instead of tinsel, and they work great. Now my son hasn't really when he was younger, he would have a somewhat limited span of attention for decorating the Christmas tree. So we would let him, you know, give him the box of ornaments and say, go to it. And it was kind of a varied result. Some years he would cover as far as he could reach up the tree, and other years it was, well, let's get about 20 ornaments on and then I'm done. But you know, I gave him the freedom to do as he wanted. Even when he stuck a ornament on that I was like, ooh, I wouldn't put that there, I kept my mouth shut. Let him do it how he wants, and just curbed my OCD for a minute. Okay, so my next number is 780, which is the next one. Boom. So yeah, and when I was young, we'd always get a real tree, so they would afterwards take it to get it mulched, but you couldn't get all the tinsel off. There's just no way you could get all the tinsel off that tree. So we had some pretty sparkly mulch. Yeah, but that was, I mean, granted, that was when I was really young, when I was a teenage, you know, preteen and teenager. My parents divorced when I was 780, okay. So after that, you know, the tree got hauled to the curb and we called a service to come pick it up. So somebody else got some pretty sparkly mulch after that. So 781 is next. But I do have fond memories of dealing with that tinsel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I would Google it. So the old tinsel was long strands of basically the thinnest damn silver mylar. Just a thin plastic sheet that they cut into strips, and the static on those darn things was off the charts. But they did look awesome once you got them on the tree. Alright, so 781. So I would like to hear, you know, from you guys. If you want to comment and tell me, you know, your experience with the things that I talk about, that would be cool. I would really enjoy reading it. Alright, so 783 is just two more. Alright, so another young memory that just has never left me. One year when I was somewhere between 6 and 7. No, 5. might have been 5, it might have been 6. My parents, okay, so I had like a couple hundred little packages, just little packages, all of them individually wrapped under that tree, and that was like the best thing for me at that age, was like, oh, so many. Well, what it was is my parents had bought me a bunch of, you know, accoutrements for my Barbies, all the clothes and the shoes and the items that go with the Barbie, you know, all the little packages. So even a little pair of a hat, a purse, and shoes got wrapped by itself. So like a couple of, you know, it seemed like a couple hundred. It was probably like 60, 70 of the little packages, but there was so many of them under the tree. I was like, sweet. I mean, my parents could have just thrown them all in a box and, you know, wrapped that box up. But for some reason, they decided to wrap each one individually, and that was like the best thing. So that's what I do with my child, is I avoid grouping things to wrap them more, you know, easily. I will wrap individual items. Because, well, I enjoy wrapping gifts. I've always enjoyed gift wrapping. But I remember how awesome it was to get so many presents, even though they were just little tiny things. That was awesome. Alright, 801 is next. We are getting kind of wonky here, so I think we are going to, you know what, just for the time being, I'm not going to move into the center section. I'm going to move into this side section. So let's grab a few. Let's grab one that doesn't have a drill packet already there. And fit you in here. And then what we'll do is we'll throw in a couple of things to make it so that it doesn't just flop flat. That works. Okay, so that'll work for now. I think I might have to design some little spacers. But now this has a little bit of room to spread out. Okay, so next one is 801. Alright, so let's move on to the next of my Christmas memories. I was in 2nd grade when we did this. It was awesome. So my brother Greg is 4 years older than me. He wanted an arrowhead necklace. So we got him the arrowhead necklace that he wanted. So the box is only about this big. Well, we wrapped it, and then we put it in a bigger box. And we wrapped that box, and then we put it in a bigger box. We graduated the boxes like 10 times till it was this enormous box. So he had to open each one and unwrap it, and then unwrap the next one and open it until he got down to that little box with the item that he really wanted in it. That was that was the best. One of those things that you always remember because it was just that special. Alright, so another thing where I had fun with wrapping. So, my first marriage, I was married for 4 years before things went south. Mike was a package shaker. So he would grab whatever gift it was and shake it to see if he could figure out what it was. So one thing he really wanted was there was a new Xbox game that I knew he wanted. So I got him that Xbox game, and I put it in a box. And I knew when you shake a box with an Xbox game in it, you can, because back then it was disc, you know, you could tell what it was. So in order to disguise the sound, I packed a buttload of Jingle Bells in with it. So when he picked up that gift and he gave it a shake, all it did was go jingle, jingle, jingle. Yep. Sometimes some of the funnest things that you can do. Alright, so 822. So I've done that to my son too, on occasion. He's not a shaker per se. I mean, yeah, he'll pick up the random package and give it a little shake to see, maybe. Which for him, most of the time, he gives it a shake and he's like, yeah, I can tell, that's Legos. Because the boy does love his Legos. Alright, so alright, so now I did say that, you know, I kind of questioned whether or not I wanted to put this one in here, because it's not a happy memory, but it's one, you know, it does stick with me. So maybe I think I decided to keep it in here because maybe someone else has had the experience, you know, and it just makes people feel, you know, better about it, to know that someone else out there has dealt with the same thing. Alright, so in order to do this one, I'll start with, you know, the happy part, because it's how Christmas worked for me as a child. So on the 24th, we would go to my dad's side of the family. So his extended family, because he has 8 or 9 brothers and sisters, so all my aunts and uncles and grandma, because grandpa passed away pretty early, grandma and grandpa, and all of the cousins. So it was a clan. So we went to Dad's side on the 24th during, you know, so we went there for lunch. Was it lunch? No, it was dinner. But we showed up early. We like showed up right after lunch. And then, you know, they'd get all the food ready and we'd open presents and then we'd eat, you know. And that was so much fun for me because you had all your cousins there and you just go play with your cousins. It was awesome. I had so much fun during those get-togethers. So 9:38 is next. Alright, so then it would get late, you know, and people would start to filter out to go home. Well, for my immediate family, we would drive home and along the way my dad would find a plane in the sky and point out the red flashing light and say that it was Rudolph. When we got home, we would open our presents there. And most people I know wait till, you know, the next morning to open presents, but we would have to get up the next morning and go to my mother's side of the family for lunch and presents and practically stay there all day long. So it just worked easier for my family. We opened presents on Christmas Eve. 9:38. Alright, so we'd open presents, and then we would go get up the next morning and go to Mom's side of the family, which she also had 8 or 9 brothers and sisters, so all the aunts and uncles and all the cousins. And again, more fun than I think a kid knows what to do with it. So at both sides of the family, they would do a name drawing beforehand. And so you bought a present for one of your cousins. Right, and that worked out really well, you know. Until the one year, trying to think, how old was I? I must have been 5th or 6th grade, so a little bit older. Thankfully, it was me, and I was a little bit older, because I was old enough to not make a scene, you know, and just deal with it, kind of thing. Well, everybody's there opening presents, and I'm kind of patiently waiting for somebody to bring me mine, and nobody brings me anything. Okay, so we get with the aunts that were in charge of the name draw, and they figured out someone mistakenly gave someone's name out twice instead of, you know, and so my name was replaced by someone else's name, and they got 2 presents. Well, they vowed to fix it, you know. Couldn't happen today, you know, couldn't happen on that day, but they'd fix it. But, you know, just the carelessness of someone affecting my happiness that day, I mean, it was a blow to me. I dealt with it pretty well, but I was heartbroken. I understood that mistakes happen, you know, so thankfully I was old enough to understand that, but it didn't change the fact that it was one of those things that just hits you, you know, to be forgotten. But thankfully, you know, I managed. Again, it's one of those memories that comes to me every once in a while. But it also it makes me super careful. I haven't had to deal with big family name draws, but if you have, just be careful. That's all I can say. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Oh, this one is probably the pinnacle. All right, so I'm in Germany, and I'm So me and my husband, we dated for roughly a year, during which time, okay, we're on the next one, next side. All right, during which time so the first year we were dating, he spent over 300 days deployed. Not a single deployment. This was a series of deployments, but that was his job. He worked in a deployment unit. So, but well, the days that he was home, he spent so much time over at my place because my apartment was right outside, practically 5 minutes from the front gate of Ramstein. So, and he lived a good hour's drive away from base. So he ended up staying over at my place a lot. And so his woohoo, well, ooh no, well, okay, woohoo, 3860 is one of the numbers that I need drills. So one thing I want to do, I'm going to do this. We'll get back to my story in a second. I want to put a little extra bit on here. Just do star. Just because I feel like I need to. Alright. So some of his uniforms migrated over to my place, and his toiletries migrated over to my place, and then some of his civilian clothes migrated over to my place. And then I knew it was a done deal when his computer migrated over to my apartment. So I knew it was coming. I just, I was waiting patiently. So Christmas of 2002? No, Christmas of 2001. So 2001 Christmas was one of the Christmases he wasn't actually, I don't remember if he was home for Christmas or if he was on the road for Christmas and we had to do our Christmas when he got back. That was a regular thing. But when I opened one of my gifts, it was a little teddy bear. Oh crap, what's the name? Those little freaking stuffed animals that were like a collector, people collected these things. Well, it was a little bear, little red bear, and in his two little paws was the engagement ring. So that's how my husband proposed to me. That was perfect for us. That was absolutely perfect. Alright, so I have made it nearly to the end of this. That was all the little memories I had. Okay, I have one more that I can talk about for a minute while I finish this up. So, my son was born October. Well, that December, we went to my squadron Christmas party, me and my husband, and we took Alex with us. Now, granted, you have to understand, we knew our son by then. We knew how he acted. Let's put this way. There we go. My boy loved his sleep, and he was such a good baby. With a few exceptions, but most of the time he was really good. And I was I wasn't breastfeeding, because the thyroid had taken care of that, I believe. No. Yes, I was still breastfeeding at this point. I was trying to anyway, because we hadn't figured out what was going wrong. So Alex came with, and he was happy as a clam in his little snug ride, little Graco snug ride carrier. Sat on a chair, and when he was awake, he people watched. All right, so I have my rogue drills. I had one rogue drill that I couldn't match, and I had a random round drill stuck in there. So what we do is we just dump it out in here. Alright, so, and he was dressed in the cutest darn little Santa outfit. And people absolutely just loved him. So he spent most of his time asleep, and someone stopped by and was like, how, because it was noisy, it was super noisy, and they asked, like, how is he asleep? And we're like, you know, he loves his sleep and he's used to noise. We never kept the house quiet while he was sleeping. So he got used to, you know, noise happening when he was asleep. He was the cutest thing, just sitting there, zonked out in his snug ride in his little Santa outfit. And he was an absolute gem the whole time. Alright, so that's done. And I love doing this. I really do. This just fills a need in me. So I know this is going to be a regular thing. So if you enjoy it, yay! Okay, happy crafting everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.